Time now for your forewarned weather with Garrett James.
Yeah, let's check in with meteorologist Garrett James in St. George for us. He's in for Alana this evening. How are you there, Garrett?
Oh, not too bad. Got to hear the rain here just a second ago outside my place in St. George, and so nice to actually see the rain coming down and not evaporating before it can actually work its way to the ground. So if we take a look at the radar right now, we can see a pretty active radar all across the Beehive State. We zoom into the north and we can see that there's active weather stretching all the way from Logan to Nephi, and even seeing a few showers around Wendover and to the east right along the interstate right there. But then we can actually see it right around Vernal, now trying to transition to maybe a little bit of rain, and we've actually seen a few lightning strikes associated with that cell in Uinta County. But for the most part, we're looking at somewhat dry conditions, mainly in central Utah. But that's once you get to Richfield, all the way to St. George and Washington, and even right to the state line, that we're seeing some rain being possible. But east of I-15 into Iron and parts of Garfield County, we can see that that does transition over to a little bit of snow according to the radar. So a little bit of a mix of precip could be possible as well. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Futurecast. It shows that low pressure system that's giving us our precip today, but it moves out of the way and high pressure builds. As it builds, we'll be looking at drying conditions for the middle of the work week. But by the end of the work week, an active weather pattern is ahead of us, and it continues into the beginning of next week. We can see this system moving in for Easter Sunday and the beginning of next week for April Fools. But if we take a look, high pressure, it's right around the corner. By the time we get to about Tuesday, Wednesday, that's going to help us dry out a little bit and warm up. So as far as the Futurecast goes, it shows an active radar is going to be possible for the remainder of the evening and part of the night hours. We can see once we get past midnight, things for the most part are going to taper off, and by sunrise tomorrow, we should be pretty clear. In fact, we'll be looking at partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies across the Beehive State. But if we fast forward all the way to Thursday evening, that's when we start to see these wet weather potentials start to return. And we can see for the Wasatch Front and the Wasatch Back right around Thursday afternoon and evening, it'll be possible. Then for central Utah and maybe even as far south as Beaver and Beaver County, early Friday morning will be possible. But this will actually start to move back to the north. As it does so, the southern part of the state will try and dry out, but more wet weather for the northern portion. And then by the time we get to Easter weekend, we'll be looking at the wet weather potential continuing for both Saturday, Sunday, and even the beginning of Monday as well. But Tuesday, that high pressure, it builds back in and will be drying up and clearing up as we get to the middle of next week. Temperatures out there right now, we can see a lot of 40s out there, even a few 30s mixed in. Salt Lake City right at 50, but St. George still in the 60s. Lows tonight, we can see a lot of 20s out there, right at freezing for Salt Lake City and 39 for St. George. But highs tomorrow show 48 Logan, 54 for Salt Lake City, 57 for Delta, 53 in Beaver, 53 Cedar City, 68 for St. George. So close to that 70 mark, but a day or two away. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 7-day forecast. It shows for the Wasatch Front Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, that wet weather, it returns, and it looks to at least continue and be somewhat windy Saturday through Monday. However, we will start to dry up and warm up by the time we get to Tuesday. Then for St. George, mainly going to be looking at dry conditions. Take a look at this. It is going to be very windy over the next 7 days, though. Breezy for Wednesday and Thursday. We can see Wednesday 68, 73 on Thursday, 71 on Friday, partly cloudy skies, windy conditions, then 68 on Saturday, slight chance. On Easter Sunday, isolated showers with cooler conditions, 62 for the high, windy conditions once again, then breezy on Monday with a slight chance for some wet weather.